the year. We've said it before, we're going to keep on saying it.
Absolutely cracking. Certainly thus far, the best.
The Last Shadow Puppets, and that song was the current single. So it's Steve Show, Six Music with me, Steve Merchant. We've got Sammy here, we've got Mark Watson, author, jack of all trades, and
trier.
I was going to tell you about this story, which I cannot confirm or deny, actually. I don't know the truth of it, but it regards Eric Douglas, the ill-fated son of Kirk Douglas, brother of Michael, who was a sort of failed actor and then went into comedy. And Eric Douglas, supposedly, the story is, no, son of Kirk Douglas, you know, Spartacus, you know, big star, and supposedly he's doing a tryout spot or something at the Comedy Store, and he's dying on his arse. Supposedly this is what yes, in England, he's performing comedy, it's going terribly.
The idea of a failed actor becoming a comic so far is perfectly believable.
That's exactly, completely plausible. So he's doing this routine, it's not going well, and he starts kind of just berating the audience, you should be laughing, and supposedly he says, don't you know who I am? I'm Kirk Douglas's son.
And they'll go, I am.
And supposedly someone stood up and went, no, I'm Kirk Douglas's son.
Funny.
Someone else then went, no, I'm Kirk Douglas's son. And the whole audience apparently started doing it.
Oh, that's it. I hope that is true.
And I've got no way of finding out if that's true.
It almost could be. I mean, yeah, you can believe it, but it would be really funny. The sort of thing someone would make up and wish it had happened.
Exactly. But you kind of get the feeling it could, because he was a comedian, he was at Kirk Douglas's son.
And the audience would do that, because once one person had done that, everyone would start doing it, probably. Oh, I'd rather believe that is true, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just say it's true.
Yeah.
Tick. I'm just writing true, and then we've decided today, officially, that it's true.
I think unless it can be verified false, it should be
exactly
true,
we should presume it true.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of music to get through, so I want to squeeze in another bedroom boff in. Cassio Tone for the Painfully Alone, New Year's Kiss, cracking tune. Oh, listen, Sammy, I think you're going to particularly engage with this one.
I'll try. Alright.
More DIY bedroom electronica, that time from Owen Ashworth, who records as Cassio Tone for the Painfully Alone. And if you like sort of literate, quirky love songs with a sort of synthesizer background, then his 2006 album Etiquette is worth checking out. And so we're sort of talking to bedroom boffins, and we've already spoken to Zoom Van Snook, and I am embarrassed to say that there's so much Bristol on today's show that, Sammy, I don't know, you must feel so out of place. Hang on, let me turn you up.
Off mic. Disgustingly outnumbered. It's horrible. And normally, at least I've got Rufus, and although we're not, you know, exactly the same, it's nice that we're against you two.
You're very much two sides of the same coin.
Shut up. No, that's just having a bit of fun.
You've got to be careful, Mark, because Sammy's a very popular member of the gang.
And I'm quite feisty and handsy, so...
I've just got over confidence since that Jeremy Clarkson thing. Since I took him down.
Exactly. So yeah, this is going to seem embarrassing, but we get to speak now. Zoom Van Snook, I didn't even realise he was going to be from Bristol, so I apologise, but we're lucky enough to speak to Minotaur Shock.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, you didn't use my real name, I got confused.
Yeah, but that is the name you record under. You must have thought when I mentioned Minotaur Shock, oh, hang on, that sounds like the name I record under.
Yeah, you know, it's only at night I go under that name.
Sure, now this is going to seem so incestuous, like I'm just getting people I know from Bristol.
Are you going to own up we were at a Wonder Stuff gig in 1991?
That's absolutely right, we did. Dave, I should say, who records as Minotaur Shock, and let's not BS people, there's no secrets between me and the listeners. We do know each other, Dave.
We know of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I respect you. I'm presuming you respect me.
I've got nothing but respect for you. I'm upset Harry's not there because I've got a little more for him. Sure,
but he's off doing other things. So people will have enjoyed probably your first Minotaur Shock album if they're into that whole bedroom electronica thing.
Hopefully.
And we come to album number 2.
Number 3.
Number 3, I apologise.
Do we know each other that well?
We don't. And what's the name of this album?
It's called Amateur Dramatics.
And one of the intriguing things is your sort of, I think you're probably the best person to explain it. How would you describe it? A sort of promotional tool?
I think so, yeah. Basically, it's the first album I've done which isn't coming out on vinyl or CD due to the strange way the music industry's going and the fact that, let's face it, I'm not going to sell a load of records. So I've had a little think about it and how to release it. And I know, I think Radiohead did their thing where they asked the punter to suggest a price for the tracks. I've done the opposite, and I'm going to suggest what I think the tracks are worth, and lay down the law in that way, really, and justify each price using a variety of criteria.
So you've offered some kind of legitimate explanation. These aren't arbitrary sums of money that you've given to each track. You have actually got a methodology.
Yes. Yes.
I'll be honest with you, it was a sophisticated question. The word methodology was used.
Apology on the end of method was hard,
It comes across quite light-hearted, I think. Some of the categories are the technical difficulty and how many times the computer crashed and how many musicians were used on it. But I was quite honest with it all, and so some tracks come out as being worth 33p, and others are 79p.
Right. We're going to play a tune called "This Plane Is Going to Fall." Do you remember how much this cost?
No, but I'd imagine it's quite dear because it's got singing on that I didn't do.
Right. So there's singing.
If any potential listeners want to dip their toe in with a cheaper track, don't go for this one. Unless you like this one.
Okay, well, let's have a listen to it. I'm looking here on the notes that they've sent me. 66p.
There you go, see?
So it's quite a pricey
cheaper than
tune.
iTunes, isn't it?
It's much cheaper than iTunes.
But you won't be able to get it until August the 11th. I'll just say that tonight.
Okay, well, let's have a listen, because I think this is an absolute barnstormer of a tune. 66 pence worth of Minotaur Shock. Have a listen, see what you think of it. Stay there, Dave. From the album Amateur Dramatics, released August the 11th, that's Minotaur Shock, and the tune This Plane's Going to Fall, which will cost you 66 pence if you choose to download it. And there are cheaper tracks available if you are governed solely by the price of music, then that's the way they decided. And Dave Edwards, who is Minotaur Shock, is still with us. Dave, great tune, and I'm very excited about the pricing policy.
Oh, thank you. The dearer tracks are probably the better ones.
Right, okay.
They're not just me, normally they've got talented, real musicians on, so let that be a guide.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, it was absolutely cracking. Thanks for talking to you. Do you can you put a band together live and play live?
I have done. It depends if people buy the music, then I can afford to pay the musicians, and I can go on tour to promote the album. And the next time, I might not have to do this strange pricing structure.
Well, if it goes well and you can sell enough records to put a band together, we'd love to get you in.
Might be good musicians that are different prices as well.
I'll scrabble around. I've got the detritus of old bands scattered around. I can pull it together.
Good. Well, I look forward to it. Thanks very much for talking to us, Dave.
Just got a quick rock myth.
Yeah, go on.
It's quite a recent one. It's probably, but it is Shakin' Stevens Duffy's dad.
Is Shakin' Stevens Duffy's dad?
In the press last week, they said that Tom Jones was as well.
Someone's got me.
So they're just naming famous Welsh people.
Seymour.
The few famous Welsh people there are, they're naming. Ooh, I'm going to get in trouble there, aren't I?
I think Shirley Bassey might be Duffy's dad.
I think Duffy could have been sired by someone who isn't famous.
It's quite possible, yeah. Listen, we'll try and get that.
I've got some kind of anti-Welsh rant. Can I go now?
Yeah, we'll try and get that answer, the answer to that question before the end of the show, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. All right, cheers. All the best.
Bye now.
Well, there you are. That's opened up a whole new kettle of fish. Famous Welsh fathers.
So we're both sat here astounded and gutted that Mama Cass did not choke on a ham sandwich.
This is unbelievable. This is false, apparently.
That Mama Cass did not die on a sandwich. Listen, I've got some even bigger news. I'm going to be explaining it in full detail. But do you understand the myth of where 10cc got their name from? Everyone's heard that.
Yeah, I've heard it.
It ain't true.
Shut up.
I'll be telling you why after we've heard the news.
On digital.
Razorlight, of course, in the morning, and so we were talking before the news, we're just wrapping up a couple of urban myths. Can we confirm Shakin' Stevens is not Duffy's mother?
Quashing myths all over the place. No, Duffy's dad is called John Duffy.
Oh,
John
hang on,
Duffy.
what's Shaky's real name? Because I'm presuming it's not Shaky.
I think it is, actually. Is it? That's why he had to do what he did, yeah.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we don't think Duffy's dad is Shaky. You were suddenly transfixed by the fact that Mama Cass, famously, she died from a chicken bone, didn't she?
We thought it was a ham.
It was a ham
we
sandwich.
thought she choked on a ham sandwich, but it's fine. It says here that she was just really fat.
Yeah.
So that was how the rumour started.
It's the less hilarious fatty myocardial degeneration due to obesity.
But there's a disease that's got the word fatty at the beginning of it.
I know. But it's adds insult to injury, doesn't it, if you're going to die? Yeah.
And another really sad one quashed. Dear Stephen, I'm sorry, but the I'm Spartacus story isn't true. The only truth is that the Douglas child did do a terrible gig at Battersea Jongleurs, not the Comedy Store, and started berating the audience for their lack of response. The rest is made up, and that's from your friend Ed Byrne.
That's it. I'm going to see him tonight, and I'm going to have words with him for killing our dreams.
No, I'm so angry about that. So obviously I was mentioning to you as well about 10cc.
Oh yeah,
Now,
this is going to be another blow.
What's your understanding of the 10cc band name?
I don't know. But
I thought you did.
Sorry?
No,
when you said you all know how 10cc got their name, I just sort of went along with it. I know some of their songs and that.
Sammy, you must know.
I'm going to use the affectionate term, manjam. The general, yes, not consistency, that's not the right word. The amount is normally 10cc.
Do you understand?
I understand now, but I'm shocked. The people who brought us Dreadlock Holiday.
Exactly. Well, actually, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because the myth is that it was 9cc, and that because they were sort of making an ironic joke about their how manly they are, they were 10cc.
We're slightly better than that, right?
Actually, a couple of things to say. One, that's not how they got their name. They got their name, bizarrely, and this is really weird, and this has been confirmed by the band themselves in interviews, that they were either friends with or managed for a short time by, and I'm not even sure we can say his name anymore, Jonathan King. Ooh, I know.
It's what you say afterwards that
It's edgy radio now. I've mentioned the Kingster's name.
At this stage, it's fine, but
anyway, Jonathan King, I think, was involved with them in some way. Oh, what have I said? But anyway, Kinger had a dream, apparently, where he envisaged, in this dream, a giant poster that said something like, performing live tonight, 10cc. So he came in and said, we're going to call you 10cc. The ejection, I can't even say it, but that apparently didn't even factor into it, you know. And, more than that, the average amount of gentlemen is not 10cc.
There you go.
It's actually, I made a note of it, 3cc.
So the moral is that Jonathan King should always follow through his dreams.
That sounds horrific. In some way. Okay, so, listen, thanks for joining us. Each week we like to delve into the pigeonhole and listen to 3 new releases by some big name artists, and then give you our opinion. And, first up this week is, R.E.M. They got a new single, and it's Man-Sized Wreath. Released 4th of August. Oh, blimey, thank you, Michael. R.E.M. and Man-Sized Wreath, forthcoming single from them. And, in a way, R.E.M., it seems, very much divided into those that were there when they had their big breakout with, Out of Time, and those that have come since and feel like they just ought to be aware of them because of their part in rock history. Sammy, I suspect you're in that latter camp.
When did that first record come out?
Well, they had many albums before it.
The Big
Out of
Break?
Time was about 1990 or something.
Something like that, about 89, 90.
Hey, the first band that I got into, and that's terrible. It's terrible to even say that sentence because that means you're quite old.
Yeah, I was 4.
In 1990?
In 1990 I was
for
4.
goodness sake. I hate it when people are that young.
I know, it sickens
So
me as well.
I missed the R.E.M. wave. Though my dad did have a cheap copy done on a tape by one of his friends, but he said he couldn't listen to the whole thing because it made him want to kill himself.
What, Out of Time?
We didn't. It wasn't Out of Time. It was
Automatic for the people I expect.
probably that one. But yeah, we wouldn't put it all on at once. He'd just put a song on and then change tapes.
So where do you stand on this? By the way, I should point out that Sammy, who is very young, look at that, wearing a hood.
Yeah,
a bit typical of the youth of today.
I've been inching away.
You've noticed
just in
that?
case
Yeah, of course you have.
It's a Sunday afternoon, but nothing sacred to the youngsters.
This is very true. Man-Sized Wreath, where do you stand on it?
I've really liked it, actually. That's the first R.E.M. single in a long while that's excited me to any length. I might go onto some sort of downloading site and get that, and then maybe enjoy them retrospectively.
Meanwhile,
That's what the youth do as well. They go onto downloading sites and just buy an album. I like it actually, but yeah, I was a fan of them for a long time, and then I've never quite gone off them. And every album that comes out, people say, "Oh, R.E.M. are finished," but I think it's good, yeah. And there's a really good live version you can get on the internet as well. It's quite. The album is all like that. It's all quite pacey, so I think it's good. Yeah,
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
go on,
yeah.
yeah. Give it a go. You've not heard R.E.M. Give it a go.
Yeah, I think they could still have a good big future. R.E.M. Yeah.
Just have a pun. We'll have a new single from the Go Team after this.
BBC Six Music.
Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant, and we have with us Sammy and also writer, broadcaster, comedian Mark Watson giving us their verdict on
Have a go hero.
Absolutely. I look forward to that story. We've barely got time for it. And yes, we're just checking out some new releases. R.E.M's already got the thumbs up from both. Again, you see, now I'm wondering if is that going to divide youth and age there? Because Mark, now I don't know what you're pushing.
What age-wise?
Age-wise,
I'm not. I don't get much change from 30 these days. Put it that way. I'm 28. Okay, it's just not embarrassing.
So